I'm pretty sure that the first answer that comes to most people's minds when you ask which Dexter character is your favorite is most likely always Dexter himself. And that makes sense, of course. I mean, he is the main character, and also Michael C. Hall is such a likable person and such a phenomenal actor, so it's completely understandable if you choose Dexter as the best character in Dexter. But what if I told you that Dexter isn't actually the best character in the series? That title, in my opinion, belongs to Mr. James Doakes himself, played brilliantly, might I add, by Eric King. In fact, in any video I make about ranking Dexter characters, or even when Doakes' name simply just comes up in a video, I always, and I mean always, say that he is the best character in the show, and please let me explain why. Now, James Doakes only appeared in 2 seasons, but in those 2 seasons, he absolutely stole the spotlight. And the reason he stole the spotlight is simple. He was brought to life by such a powerful performance from Eric King. Like, even today, you can't scroll TikTok without running into a James Doakes meme in the comment section. Because in the comment section of any random TikTok, you can see someone quoting lines like, "I know I'm right, but I just can't prove it yet," with a picture of James Doakes pointing his fingers. And the crazy part, Doakes is so iconic that even people who have never seen Dexter, like haven't seen the show whatsoever, know who he is. Because take the legendary surprise motherfucker scene, for example. That line blew up so much back in the day that when new viewers started to watch Dexter and saw that scene, their reaction was usually, "Wait, that scene is from Dexter? What?" I literally had the same exact experience myself. I was so shocked to realize that that meme came straight out of the show, and I was like, what? And it's not even TikTok that made James Doakes popular. Back in the Vine era, that audio was everywhere, constantly remixed into hilarious clips like this one.
"Some fries, this guy's
Think about it. You know how TikTok nowadays makes everything so popularized? Well, James Doakes was already popularized back in Vine. It's that big. Like, before the show was even famous, Doakes was famous. Like, that's how insane this character is. And what's wild is that people keep finding fresh material from just 2 seasons worth of scenes from James Doakes. Like, come on, you can't make this stuff up. Like, Eric King played James Doakes with perfection and personality that he left behind a legacy of memes, end quotes, that still are alive years later. But it wasn't even only memes that made James Doakes unforgettable. It's also the writing. Making him the first character to ever seriously suspect Dexter was just genius. Mwah, cherry on top. That single move set the blueprint for future storylines where others began to piece together Dexter's secret. Think about Dexter Resurrection. The only reason why Batista ever knew that Dexter was the Bay Harbor Butcher was because of James Doakes. Think about it, because Doakes was the original hunter of Dexter, the prototype for everyone else who came after. And honestly, if it wasn't for Doakes, a lot of characters might still be alive, because in Dexter's world, anyone chasing him tends to not survive. And that's part of what makes the show so interesting, because Dexter the show was never afraid to kill off major characters if it served the story, and Doakes' arc proved that. And every time James Doakes appears on screen, he commands your attention. His presence is so electric, his blunt honesty and his hilarious insults, and his refusal to sugarcoat anything make him impossible to ignore. Eric King nailed the role so perfectly that it's hard to imagine anyone else ever playing Doakes. I mean, you could say the same about Dexter and Michael C. Hall, but every single line that he delivers, especially when he's taunting Dexter, lands just so perfectly.
The fake smile, the donuts. You don't even walk like a normal person. You glide like a lizard on ice.
I'm serious. Go back and watch seasons 1 to 2 and you won't find a single poorly delivered line from Eric King. Now, some might argue, what about Trinity? After all, John Lithgow's performance as Arthur Mitchell won an Emmy. Like wouldn't that Emmy automatically blow Eric King's performance out of the water? No, don't get me wrong, John Lithgow's performance was incredible, but here's the thing. While Trinity left a massive impact on the show, Doakes gave us more memorable moments. The dockside confrontation where he learns the truth about Dexter. The surprise scene, him stalking Dexter through Miami, like those are still quoted and discussed to this day. Meanwhile, Trinity's standout moments are when he kills Rita, and also I guess the Hello Dexter Morgan scene, which was also really good. But Doakes' legacy is just so much deeper because he laid the foundation for the show. And at the end of the day, Doakes was the blueprint. Without him, characters like Batista and Maria wouldn't have ever pursued Dexter with such conviction. But they did it to honor Doakes' suspicions, and in the Batista case, to honor Maria as well. And that's the ripple effect he left behind. In just 2 seasons, James Doakes shaped the narrative of Dexter more than any characters in the show ever did. Now you might be saying, well, screw the Doakes' blueprint, because that blueprint literally got Batista and Maria killed. I'm not gonna lie, you're right. That's the funny part. Because if Doakes had never trusted his gut, Batista and Maria would have probably never gone after Dexter to honor his death. And honestly, Doakes himself might not have been killed either. But here's the thing, Doakes was the only cop who actually did his job. I mean, for God's sakes, even Dexter admitted it himself.
The only real question I have is why, in a building full of cops, all supposedly with a keen insight into the human soul, is Doakes the only one who gets the creeps from me?
Well, maybe because you act like one, Dexter. But that's exactly why Doakes was such a great character, brought to life so brilliantly by Eric King. Like, have you ever seen those meme videos titled POV, Dexter without internal monologue? And you scroll down to the comments and people are saying like, well damn, now I can see why Doakes was so suspicious. Because that right there proves Doakes was probably one of the only truly sane people in this show. Because think about it, imagine being a character in Dexter's world and watching him stare at you in silence for 30 seconds straight before muttering a word. Like, bro, what? And he was right, Dexter is
Creep, motherfucker.
And that's exactly why Doakes stands out above every character in the series. And he wasn't just comic relief like Masuka. He wasn't just a meme as well. And he wasn't just an antagonist like all the other antagonists. He was the one person who saw Dexter for who he really was automatically. And that's what makes Doakes' role so important. Like every great story needs that one character who speaks the truth. The one who cuts through all the lies and says things as they really are. And Doakes, for the show, was that character. He unfortunately didn't survive the story, but his presence changed literally everything. And without him, Dexter would never have the same pressure or those moments where his mask started to slip. Like, Doakes literally forced Dexter into situations where his dark side almost came out, and no one else could have done that. In many ways, Doakes was like the voice of the audience. We watched Dexter kill people and live this double life, and we're all thinking, how does nobody notice this guy? I mean, like, but Doakes noticed, and he wasn't fooled by Dexter's awkward excuses or small talk. Even though the story turned against him and Dexter walked away while Doakes paid the ultimate price, his impact still hangs over the entire series, and that's why fans still talk about him. They still quote him and still turn him into memes more than 10 years later. So Doakes wasn't just another antagonist in the season-long kill, he became a part of the show's culture, and the only person who made Dexter feel truly exposed. Without Doakes, Dexter might have seemed unstoppable, and without Doakes, we finally got to see what it really was like when someone really understood him. And in only 2 seasons, Eric King turned Doakes into one of the most unforgettable parts of the show. He was funny, intense, and just absolutely iconic. So while most people will say Dexter is their favorite character, I'll always argue that James Doakes was the heart of the show, the blueprint of the chase, and hands down, just one of the best characters Dexter has literally ever had.